Have you ever been listening to a podcast and it sounds like this? It's horrible, right? There's simply nothing that can replace the audio quality of recording in person. That is until Riverside came along. Over the past few months, we've all had to figure out the best way to record our podcast remotely. Naturally, we all defaulted to Zoom. Zoom is a great product that is quick to set calls up, the recording functionality is built right in, and most people are familiar with how it works. That being said, please don't use it for recording podcasts. I'm going to explain to you why. There is a reason Zoom seems to have taken over the world since a lot of us started working remotely. It's pretty easy to use, which I suppose is up for discussion. Most of your guests or co-hosts will have probably used it before, and the built-in recording functionality works fine. It's reliable. If you're not worried about audio quality, then carry on using Zoom. But if you want to grow your podcast and make the listening experience better for your audience, then keep on watching. Oh, and for those that are looking to grow your podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications because we're going to be producing a bunch more videos about how you can start and grow a podcast. When I first started producing remote podcasts, I was using Zoom and it's actually horrible listening back to them. One of the most frustrating things is when you and your guests both have excellent podcast setups, expensive microphones, quality interfaces, both wearing headphones, but your podcast ends up sounding like you were both on a mobile phone call. And that's not a good listening experience for your audience. Not only is the quality poor, but to even get to the stage where the Zoom audio is remotely usable for an edit, you need to go deep into the fiddly settings. I've had a lot of people say to me there isn't enough reason for them to move from Zoom to another platform recording their podcast. But there is one main reason to move off Zoom, and that is audio quality. In order for your podcast to grow, you'll need to have a podcast that people enjoy listening to and are happy to share it with their peers. It's an easy improvement to make. Upgrade your microphones and switch to a platform that allows you to record local audio like riversidefm. Take pride in the quality of your show. There are shows that are successful, for instance, the Hillary Clinton podcast, You and Me Both. Use some of the best microphones you can buy and put emphasis on quality. And of course, they use Riverside.
And a big thanks to Riverside FM. Just imagine, we needed a recording platform that could help us make a podcast during a pandemic, and boy, did they step up.
Zoom is set up for video calling, not for podcasting. This is an important distinction because it means it's great for video calling, but not so great at podcasting. Small things like the audio processing Zoom does to make video calls good for non-technical setups. For instance, Zoom will take care of your average Joe who might be using the laptop microphone and speakers to carry out their video call. They have technology to cancel out the echo and people talking over each other. The trouble is, when that technology is then applied to people with setups with microphones and headphones, you get an over-processed audio feed. James, I think we've lost you, mate. Anyone else on the call here, James? Guys, can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. You're back. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think it's something to do with Zoom. Can we use Riverside for the next call, please? Anyway, where was I? If you're a podcast producer, I often produce podcasts myself. I don't really need my audio to be recorded, but I still need to communicate with the podcast hosts and guests. I have no choice but to be recorded with Zoom, so I have to remember to mute myself and unmute myself and get everything set up to avoid any non-podcast related questions. Riverside is made for podcast producers, so you can join without anything being recording on your end so you can focus on what you do best, production. I've had so many Zoom podcasts where I've been trying to tell my hosts if they have their correct microphone connected, but it's hard because the audio is often compressed and I can't tell. Often I'll pick it up, but sometimes I'll miss it and you'll end up with an even worse sound recording. Riverside saves the day here and shows you exactly what microphone each person on the call is using. I genuinely think this is one of my favourite features on Riverside. Since we all went into lockdown, some people have been having back-to-back Zoom meetings. They are zoomed out. James, man, I think you're muted. James, you're muted.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? If you're producing a podcast, you can give them a break from the constant stream of Zoom meetings. Yes, this may be a slightly tenuous point, but I don't think we should overlook it. Your guests will be refreshed not to see yet another Zoom link. Is Riverside as good as recording in person? In some senses, no, but it has meant I can record a ton more remote podcasts, and there's been some other side benefits too. Before, I'd have to take 2 or 3 hours out of my day to record a podcast, driving to the location, setting up the gear, waiting for the guests to arrive, checking the levels, accounting for all the things that could go wrong. But now your guests can record from the comfort of their own home. And the only thing that you need to worry about, or they need to worry about, is the hour you need for that recording. When we were all starting out trying to figure out how remote podcasting works, Zoom was an option that worked for a while. But now with technology available, like riverside.fm, to be able to record the studio quality audio that sounds like you're in the same room, there really is no excuse to be still using Zoom. A quick note, this doesn't just apply to Zoom. I'm talking about all of your conferencing software, Skype, Teams, Slack, Whereby, anything that you use. If you're looking to grow your podcast and make it the best show possible, improving your audio is a surefire way to do so. I've got a question for you. What is the highest quality podcast you listen to? Leave a comment in the comment section below. We're going to be producing a bunch more videos on this YouTube channel about podcasting, video interviews, and more. So if you want to learn more about starting and growing a podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for watching.